The hardboiled crime genre, when viewed within the context of when it was written, can be used to analyze and break down the societal issues and concerns of its time. The struggles and obstacles that the main character faces throughout the story are a representation of the current societal and political fears. Hardboiled crime fiction is a subgenre of the larger crime fiction genre. The hallmarks of the subgenre are corrupt symbols of authority, gratuitous violence, cities overrun by organized crime, the delicate damsel in distress, the wicked femme fatale, and the rough and hard detective that often rebukes authority in order to get the job done and save the girl. The settings are described as realistic being used to describe the real-world settings that have been exaggerated and tweaked into the fantastical in terms of crime, darkness, and corruption. This style of writing revolves around complicated plots, multiple crimes, and often involves the story ending without resolving all loose ends in the narrative, further exemplifying the realistic nature of the subgenre. Hard-boiled detective fiction was first created in America in the 20s and 30s. It was a stark differentiation to the traditional stories of British detectives such as Sherlock Holmes. The quaint British countrysides and sleepy villages were replaced with the rough streets and alleys of cities like New York and Chicago. The detectives were the new representation of the real man, exemplifying the desired traits of the perfect male hero, replacing the cowboys and gunslingers of the past. The genre is credited as being realistic in the sense that it takes place within the real world, but a heightened fantastical version. Within the world of hard-boiled crime, cities are rife with organized crime and corruption. The detectives are tough, masculine, smart, and fight for the everyman, and women are either damsels in distress or evil temptresses seeking to undo the hero. Regardless, they only exist to further the male's hero's story and or desires. These depictions of women were emblematic of the fear of male readers and writers of female sexuality and independence. Raymond Chandler's The Big Sleep was written close to the inception of the genre and is credited as helping to define as well as refine its many conventions and practices. As such, the building blocks of the genre are apparent in the story. The detective is set to investigate blackmail, but then goes on a personal quest to solve a mysterious disappearance. As is often described in the genre, and the plot of the text is very complicated with many twists and turns, resulting in the solving of multiple crimes as well as leaving a loose end. The criminal is ultimately revealed to be the wicked Carmen, a classic example of the femme fatale so often used in the genre. This text perfectly displays the fears of 1930s America, concern over governmental regulations, fear of sexuality, both male and female, and distrust of authority. Dorothy Porter's The Monkey's Mask is a fantastic revision of the hard-boiled crime genre and is a great representation of societal change. In previous works of the genre, the main character, the detective, was almost always male and heterosexual. In this piece, the detective is female and homosexual, which is nothing short of revolutionary. The story fits within the normal narrative flow of more traditional examples of the genre. It has a tough and street-smart detective, a difficult case with many twists and turns, and a femme fatale that uses their sexuality to distract and manipulate the protagonist. Porter took these building blocks and made her own unique story. The female characters are given agency and are not one-dimensional. Porter creates a female character that is every bit as professional and hardworking as her male counterparts without erasing her femininity, which is rare within the world of fiction. Additionally, the character's sexuality does not define her. It does not make her who she is, rather it is a part of who she is. Media today still struggles to make that distinction when making LGBTQ characters. This revisionist take on the genre is an example of the changes within society. The character being openly homosexual as well as being a strong working woman did wonders for representation within media, particularly when it was adapted to the big screen. The revision has helped to change the genre as well as introduce it to a wider audience. A feminist retelling of a formerly male-dominated, sexist, homophobic, and racist category of writing is very important in terms of representation and social progression for marginalized communities and minorities. In conclusion, the subgenre of hardboiled crime fiction is a way to hold a mirror to society and is a great way to dissect and discuss current and past political and social issues.